What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to rank 6 previous hairstyles from worst to first that I've worn in the past since getting a hair system. Before I get started, guys, this is a LaVivid hair system I'm rocking right now. Use promo code CHRIS15. I'll leave that down in the comments and description below. It's going to get you 15% off any hair system you buy from LaVivid Hair. You get a stock hair system, custom hair system. Promo code CHRIS15 is going to get you 15% off any hair system you buy from LaVivid Hair. And this particular hair system I'm wearing right now is an Eros model. It's a lighter density unit, and the color is a number 4 medium brown hair color. They have fantastic hair systems, and 15% off is pretty huge considering their least expensive hair system costs $280. So you're going to save right off the top anywhere upwards of $40 to $45 minimum depending on which hair system you go with. I'll leave the links and the promo code down in the comments and description below. Use promo code CHRIS15 at checkout to get 15% off any hair system you buy from LaVivid Hair. I'm going to rank 6 hairstyles that I've personally worn in the past 2.5 years, however long I've been in this hair system game. For going over the hairstyles I think is worst, all the way down to the hairstyle that I think is first, that is on point, that is on money. And then you guys can decide. Maybe you guys will have different opinions. What I think is worst, you guys might think is best, and vice versa, and anywhere in between. So just kind of discuss in the comment down, let me know what you guys think. So starting out with hairstyle number 1, this one speaks for itself, guys. A lot of my earlier followers out there are going to remember the video that I made wearing this hair system. This is when I was still pretty new to the game. There's a lot of things wrong with this hairstyle, and you guys even pointed it out, and I'm glad you did. You know, back when I made this video a couple years ago. I mean, there's a lot of things wrong. First, let's start with the hairline. The hairline is just a little bit too straight, and I think also I have the hairline a little bit too low in this particular picture. It's not quite matching up with my temple hair and my side hair, and the hairline is just a little bit too straight on this one, guys. So that's why you want to get a slight rescission in the hairline. Not too much, but you do want to get a little slight rescission to give it the most natural and realistic look that you can possibly get. Issue number 2 with this hairstyle is just way too much volume, way too dark, way too much volume, and way too much density, especially for my age, especially with the hair color. If you notice my, hair color, my skin pigmentation, my beard color, it just doesn't quite match up to the dark that this hair system is. And you add on the fact it's a denser unit with darker hair with that much volume, it's just going to draw too much attention to your hair. I mean, there's good attention and bad attention. This is the kind of attention you don't want to draw to your hair. Another issue with it, guys, just overall, just the hairstyle in general is just not age appropriate. I'm 38 years old now. I'm not afraid to admit it. I was 36 probably, going on pushing 37 when I made this video. Hairstyle is best suited for those age, probably 19 to 22, maybe 23 tops. But when you start pushing 25 and up, I mean, this kind of real big, huge volume quiff top hairstyle, it's just got to go. It's just too attention grabbing. You don't want that when you wear a hair system. You want good attention when you want a hair system. You want people to look here like, oh wow, your hair looks fantastic. You don't want bad attention like this. Clearly a misstep here. Thankfully, you guys stepped in and saved the day and posted in the comments that it looked awful when I made the video. And fortunately for you guys, I have very thick skin. I take opinions in stride and I learn from them. And I really learned from you guys that, when they're overwhelming, I mean, I'm not going to let 1 or 2 opinions kind of deter what hairstyle I wear. When the overwhelming people say that, bro, you got to change it, I'm going to go ahead and change it, and I'm going to take those opinions and feedback to heart. So I'm going to rank this hairstyle 6, dead last worst, whatever you want to call it, as the worst hairstyle I've probably worn, that I've worn since rocking a hair system 2.5 years ago. Moving on to number 5 is going to be this forward fringe look I had going on. A lot of these are going to be taken from my previous videos, by the way, guys, so that's why a lot of them may look familiar for a lot of my earlier followers out there. But it's one thing I've noticed, with the exception of very, very few people, it's really hard to pull off more of a forward fringe, real kind of dense, messy look, be it with the hair system or natural hair when you reach a certain age. I've literally seen only one hair system, or even watch that have their own natural hair, that kind of, even other YouTubers I watch that don't wear a hair system, but they still discuss like men's fashion, men's hairstyles. They have millions of followers. Out of all the YouTubers, between hair system YouTubers, non-hair system YouTubers I know, I mean, with the exception of Jake Kent, I would say he's the only one that can really rock the forward fringe, cover the full forehead look. I don't know how or why, but he just rocks it perfectly. That's probably literally the only person I've seen, especially in his age, when you're age 25 and plus, when you rock a forward fringe. With the exception of him, I can't really think of any other scenario where I've seen where a forward fringe really is suitable for someone age 25 and above. It's a really hard system to pull off. You have to have the perfect face shape. You have to have the perfect kind of a young, almost a baby face, think Justin Bieber type face to pull it off. Maybe Jake has that, I don't know, but he definitely has, whatever he has going on, he definitely has a face shape to pull it off. I can think of that actually can pull off a real forward fringe. I definitely can't, as you can see here. Also, what's up with me dyeing my hair, my beard color this dark, especially when it's that short? It looks so noticeable. It looks like it's painted on. I don't know what I was thinking back in the day when I used to dye my beard this dark, but that really makes it stand. I think that makes the hair look worse for some reason. But definitely definitely, I'm going to say number 4, the second worst hairstyle I've ever worn, is going to have to be this forward fringe. Especially with my temples being as recessed as they are, you can kind of, it makes it more noticeable here. And it's just not a style that's suitable for my face that I'm able to pull off with my face shape, my age. I mean, really, when you're anyone, this kind of goes back to the first hairstyle, the big old pompadour quiff, the first one that I ranked worst. It's kind of the same principle here, guys, that when you reach a certain age, it's so hard to pull off this forward fringe type hairstyle. When you get out of age 22 to 23, it gets harder and harder to pull off this kind of hairstyle, and that's why I'm ranking it as number 5 as my worst hairstyle I've ever rocked. Moving on to number 4, it starts to get a little bit better here. This is still a pretty bad hairstyle, but at least starts getting a little bit better, a little bit more presentable, a little bit more acceptable. You can kind of tell I'm headed in the right direction with this hairstyle, but I'm not quite there yet. So this hairstyle, one problem I have with it is the way, I don't know what it is. It's really giving off really mullet vibes. I know the mullet's kind of back in now. I'm not going to do a mullet. It's just not a style that I have a desire to do. But there's just something about it that looks off. It looks like I'm dressing up in a costume for some kind of, I don't know, some kind of like 1950s movie event or something. Like something about it just looks off. I don't know if it's just because my sides are too tapered and I still have a lot of hair hanging in the back, and then I kind of have it swooped over, half slicked back, half swooped over type deal going on. I don't know, guys, but it's really not, again, it's better than the other two. At least it looks a little bit more natural. It's a little bit more put together than the big old quiff or the forward fringe that I had in my previous 2 showings that I just showed you guys. But this is still a hairstyle that I would probably say it's not worse. It's definitely not bad. Definitely not on the good side. It's kind of getting in that middle. That's why I'm going to rank it number 4 as the 4th worst hairstyle that I've ever worn. It's just something that doesn't really, something about it just looks kind of off, and that I'm not really feeling here. So I'm going to rank this as number 4. This is where things start getting markedly better. The 3rd hairstyle that I'm going to put as probably, I don't even want to say the 3rd worst, because this is where from here on out my hairstyles do tend to get better until we reach the number 1 spot. These last 3 hairstyles that were really hard for me to put in order which is which, but I'm going to go ahead and go with the number 3rd hairstyle right here is going to be kind of this universal, almost reminds me of a 90s grunge Creed type of look going on, with the whole universal kind of longer hair in the back, the sides, kind of like what I'm rocking right now, only my sides and back are way longer in this. So this one isn't bad. That's why I'm not going to consider it even worse on this list. This is where things start getting better. If you notice that my natural sides and back hair here were really long and very natural looking when it blended in with the actual hair system. And one thing I do love about my sides and back, even though I do have kind of recessed temples, my side and back hair is extremely dense when it grows out. So it does tend to really blend and flow really well with higher density systems when they are really longer like that. So that's what's going on here. Like, you really can't tell separation from the hair system hair and the sides and back. The reason why it's not number 1 on my list, because it is a little bit harder to maintain, and there are some instances where you wake up and it's not going to look like this every day, because the longer your hair is, the more it is to achieve a more consistent style. But overall, I think this looks decent. I would probably rock it again if the mood strikes me. Depends what mood I'm in. But I am definitely going to try to let my sides and back grow out a little bit more. I'm not quite sure yet. But again, this is where I'm heading the right direction. It flows good. It looks uniform. It looks universal. You can't really tell I'm wearing a hair system. This hairstyle at number 3. Number 2, this is one I really like that's been really hard for me to replicate. But this is kind of a messy, kind of almost bad boy type of just messy deal look that I have going on. I don't know how I did it this way. This is way back in the day when I very first started wearing a hair system. And I just kind of accidentally had this style when I was selling it one day, and I could never for the life of me ever replicate it. It's a badass style. I love it, and I would replicate it if I could, but it just never quite got to this level before, no matter how hard I tried, so I kind of gave up on it. This is where things really are better in terms of the hairstyle, suiting the overall look I'm going for. Not too dense, but it's also not too light on the density side. It's just perfect. I think the color match is perfect. My sides are a little bit shorter here, but the way I have the hair styled makes it flow and look natural. I'll go with this as the 2nd worst. I don't even say worst because it's a good hairstyle. This is probably one of my best hairstyles I've ever worn. It's just been hard to replicate ever since. And my number 1 best hairstyle that I think overall throughout these last 2 to 2.5 years that I've rocked is going to be this one right here. I think this one it's a lot more conservative style. It's a lot more it's kind of messy and edgier, but not so much to the point where it's like, hey, look at me, look at my messy, edgy hair. It's very age appropriate. It's very blended well. The hairline placement is perfect. The color blends in with my sides perfectly. My side and back length is perfectly here. It just looks like a great overall natural, kind of relaxed, yet edgy, yet styled. Like it says, I care about my hair, but I don't care about it too much. The style just kind of matches, kind of a more laid back, relaxed, yet styled, and kind of real styled look. But I think it's my most natural look by far. I really think as far as achieving, because it's really hard to achieve a great trendy hairstyle and try to get the most natural hairstyle that you can get, and I think this achieves both. And you might be asking yourself, well, if you think that's the best overall hairstyle, why don't you just wear it now? It's simple, guys. It's just mood. I'm kind of in the mood to rock a longer hairstyle these days, and that's what I'm rocking, guys. So to answer your question, it's just the mood I'm in. I'm kind of feeling this kind of longer look, kind of free flow look. Sometimes I'll slick it back. I love the versatility the longer hair gives me. I can slick it back on days I want to slick it back, wear it kind of messy free flow like this on days that I feel like we're rocking it messy and free flow. But by far, as objectively speaking, my best overall most natural hairstyle is going to be this one here. It just flows good. The color's perfect. The hairline placement is perfect. My side and back hair length is perfect. And it's just a great overall timeless style that really doesn't go out of style. It really just gives off the right kind of vibe. Put on previous hairstyles that I've worn. Again, you can discuss amongst yourself. Just leave in the comments below what you think. And until my next video, guys, take care.